Live from my room in Charlotte, North Carolina, it is the eSpark series finale. Oh my gosh, everyone's now hitting alarms. I forgot to mute stuff, I think. No, I didn't. I know what just happened. And you threw me off my game. Thank you for the host, though. I appreciate it. We are here live for the FilterTime eSpark series finale from the virtual paperclip Martinsville Speedway. I am Zane, the bearded one, joined in the booth, as always, with my two best gingers from the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, HD Motorsports, and the man, the myth, as HD called him, the setup guy who gets you the speed you need, Red 4424. Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. It's going to be a wild one, Zane. You said it, the championship race in the eSpark series at Martinsville. Out of all places, the hot dog stadium, the hot dog track. I'm HD, stands for hot dog. It's going to be a good one.
I forgot about hot dog. Red, how you doing, buddy?
And why, hello there, fellas.
Well, hello there.
Just hanging out, man. Been playing over in the dirt on the Xbox for a little while. Having fun doing that, you know. Time to clean off, I guess, and go watch some cars go in circles on some asphalt now.
Well, you did track some mud into the booth. We weren't going to judge you for that, but you might have to clean it up because we don't have a cleaning lady. So just FYI.
What y'all been up to?
I'm excited. So first off, a little bit of love to the chat. We have a lot of people coming out here tonight. Mr. Raw Gator has showed up. He says, please, can I have a shout out? I'm a big fan of yours. There you go, Mr. Raw Gator. But you're right, Red. We have 9 of the most competitive drivers on Xbox battling it out for the inaugural FilterTime eSpark Series Championship. Last week, we did the Wheel of Finale Destiny, and it ended up at Road America. And then we found out that the powers that be that run the eSpark Series did not give a complete list of all the tracks for the wheel. So they met, congregated, and decided to run another wheel privately in their dark, dank basement. And now we're ended up at Martinsville, where, like HDU talked about, the hot dogs are going to be hot, but I think the action is going to be hotter on the track tonight. Who is your pick, though, out of the numbers, playing the game? Like, we're not even going to pick our winners right now, but who do you think has the best shot out of these 9 drivers to really win a championship?
Well, coming in early here, just a bit ago, learning that Track Bar is not going to be here tonight. He's under the weather, so that's going to be a huge loss right there. You know, he's going to be a strong guy. A lot of people would pick him, but with him not being here, I'm going to have to go with the Bolt. Him and Track Bar be going back and forth all season long. I think the Bolt gets it done tonight. They get the first ever championship in the eSpark series.
That's a strong pick, and that's big news. Track Bar's sick this week. Last I'd heard, he was coughing blood up, bleeding from the throat. It might have been a little bit of, a little bit of extra drama, but he's not going to show up. So he might actually be on death's doorbed, just waiting for old, sweet release to come through the window and say, "All right, it's time for your time to go." Or maybe he just, he realizes, "Hey, I don't got to win this championship." But you hate to see it, but I know that there's 8 other drivers who love to see it. Red, though, it's a championship race. You've raced in a championship race. HD, you have the experience as well of running for a championship. So let's talk the pressure of what it means to be in a championship setting and try to run for a championship. What do you think these drivers are going through mentally at this moment?
At this moment, you're trying to go through your game plan, your thoughts. Your adjustments to the car are done. Whatever you have is what you have for tonight's race. That's all out the window. It's just going through the motions now. I think these guys are ready. A lot of these guys have been in this situation before. I don't think none of these guys are really rookies when it comes to racing championships. And some of them racing on some of the biggest stages out there in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League.
Red?
Yeah, definitely. Just to piggyback off what old Hot Dog Motorsports said, you just can't let the pressure get to you. You got to run your race like it's just a normal race, and at the end of it, just try to keep your nose clean and hope you're somewhere up toward the front. That's the main thing.
And it's really, I think there's going to be a lot of knees weak, palms sweaty. I'm hoping a lot of these drivers didn't have it in their mom's spaghetti, because it could be a nasty mess on the carpet if, the nerves get the best of them. But let's run through these top-tier drivers that are running for a championship. We have Go Fast Matt, the Matthew Militia. Each week in and out, they show up, they start screaming his name. Mr. Tom Flitty, which we'll be talking to him later on in this pre-race. The Bolt, HD, you say it every week, a focused bolt is a deadly bolt, and this is the time for him to be the most focused, to knuckle down and try to pull out a big win here for the championship. Mr. Trackbar is not going to be here, sadly. He was on that list. You know, Fluffy Stenhouse Jr., an eNASCAR Heat Pro League driver, he's in the mix. Mr. Sam Morris, a.k.a. Slow Dog, More Dog, the best dog in show, he's going to be racing. Smitty, who pulled off with a strategy win 2 weeks ago to put himself in this top field to race for a championship. Big John Stud, my middle name Mud, Dirty Water Too Hot For You Son, he's racing. And then the Doharian Snowcat, the admin and owner of the eSpark, series here, he's racing for a championship as well. So these guys are really going to feel the pressure. It's 250 laps tonight. 50 laps are looking around what we're going to see for fuel mileage. So Red, I'm going to go to you as the setup guy, crew chief, the man who knows how to build these cars and make them fast and stable. What are you looking for out of your car when you know you're going to have to push 250 laps and your fuel mileage window is about 50 laps?
Just hang back. Take it easy once again. I mean, there's no reason to get yourself in a mess in the first 150 laps. About lap 100, I see people, or about lap 150, I see people, attempting to start trying to work their way up front, make a little more extra moves than what they would normally make. But the key is going to be survival. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to.
And survival of the fittest is going to be the biggest thing. And let's go over to our over-under. Nicky Jobs, our odds man's in Vegas, still not talking to me after a buffet in Vegas. I think he's mad at me. I don't know what's going on, or he might be doing some other things. But he didn't give me his numbers, but I want to go to HD first. What's your over-under on cautions tonight for here at Martinsville?
I'm going with 4. I think Martinsville's a little... Cautions are hard to come by at Martinsville. I feel like, you're going so slow. It's kind of easy to save a car through the corner. So my over-under for this race is going to be 4.
Red?
Yeah, I'm going to go 10.
Gotta
go 10.
Under 10 or over 10?
I'm going to say we'll change it to 8 then, and I'll go over. Reason being is I think the starting of the race, you're going to have a couple of people, trying to get way more than what they need to. And then I think we're going to be really, really calm for the middle of the race. I could see a solid 100 to 150 laps go green. And then at the end, I think nerves are going to get to people, and they're going to be getting everything, they'll take a mile and won't give an inch.
And I'm actually going to go the middle ground here. I'm going to say about... I'm going to go over. I'm going to say 13, but I'm going to go under, and I'm going to say 13 to 11 cautions. And the reason I'm throwing that number out there, because we see it each week when it gets to the wire and guys start to get really pressured, they then decide to just throw all, caution out the window and go straight for the jugular. Lots of cautions bring cautions. These guys like to battle hard at the end of a race. And that's honestly what we could see. I agree with you guys that we'll see a calm race probably for the first 25-30%. But once those laps start to wind down and we hit about 150, Red, I think that's when everyone's going to throw that rule book out of the window and just start putting bumpers to people to clear them, especially that championship 9. And with that, I want to move over to, because the drivers are qualifying right now, and we don't want to interrupt them while they're racing, because as I know from experience, drivers will yell at you for the most part when you try to talk to them while driving. Last week, Dohar, for example, quit talking to me, I'm driving. So I want to talk about your dark horse and your pick. So what this is going to be a little bit different here tonight. I want you to pick your winner of the race, your dark horse of the race, and then your final pick will be the championship winner. And I know you talked about Track Bar. He's not here tonight. You talked about the Bolt a little bit, HD. So if you want to pick the Bolt for all 3, that's fine with me. But Red, I want to go to you first. Who's your race winner? Who's your dark horse? And who do you think will walk out of here as a champion?
I think the race winner will be your champion. Ooh. And I'm going to have to go with my man Fluffy. I don't think everybody understands what just happened when they came here to Martinsville. Fluffy has completely dominated every league Martinsville race he's ever been in. The last one, he ended up running out of gas with like 3 to get. But I'm gonna go with Fluffy for that. My dark horse pick, I'm gonna have to go with Dohar, man. I feel like he's always right there on the edge this whole season, and he just hasn't had a race kind of fall his way.
Mm-hmm.
So going with my man Dohar for the dark horse, but got to go with championship and race winner. I think that's going to be one and the same. Got to go with my man Fluffy.
HD, let's go to you. Your pick, your dark horse, and your championship winner.
You know, Fluffy was going to be my dark horse pick because I know how fast he is here. Like Red was saying, that he pretty much just dominates Martinsville. In fact, I remember when the Pro League went here for the pre-qualifier expedition races or something like that. I'm pretty sure Fluffy won the PS4 side. If he didn't, he had one of the most solid cars out on track. So I'm going to go and veer away from that just a bit. For my dark horse pick, I'm going to go with a man who's really came out surprised this season. Someone who's won a few races. Hasn't been talked about quite as much lately, but I think he can get it done. And that's going to be Tom Tom. I think Tom Tom's got the skill set. I think he's put the work forward. I think it's going to matter tonight. Possibly pull off the dark horse. And, of course, man, the Bolt, I got him winning it, and I got him winning the championship.
Oh, very good picks. So I'm going to go a different route here. This is what I'm thinking tonight. For a race winner, I'm going to go with the Grand Chalky because it is his birthday tonight, or tonight is his pre-birthday night. He will turn, I think, 24 years old in the next 45 minutes, and that's going to be Mr. Brian Badeschi. Tedeschi's celebrating tonight. He's had a few drinks earlier in the day during the NASCAR races, so I think he's sobered up at this point. But he is racing his butt off. He's got a great car. From my understanding, nobody could put a flame to him during the other leagues that he's raced this setup in this car tonight. So I'm going with the man, the myth, Brian, for my pick. Dark horse, I'm actually going to lean towards a championship driver. And I'm going to say, God, here's the problem is I don't want to go championship because if I go, you know what, we're going to go J-Mac on my dark horse because my championship pick tonight, and as weird as it sounds, I'm going to go Dohar. I think Dohar might have a strategy to put his car in front of the other drivers and pull out a championship win tonight. But the hardest part about tonight as well is the Bolt. He's got another number in there where I'm thinking, I don't know if the Bolt's really going to pull off what he needs to. It's a big event. We know how, worried the Bolt gets. He gets a little bit sidetracked, but he's been focused all season. He doesn't have to worry about battling the man, the myth track bar tonight. So, there's so many picks to pick from. Oh gosh. Hold on a second here. My notifications just went off. That was weird. Thank you, but I don't know why that went off. Hold on a second here, right? Gentlemen. Yeah. It is. It is. It's Epic Sax, and I don't know why it just popped off because everything's turned off. But hey, I appreciate that, Miss Farrah Fawcett, and we got to figure out how to mute this.
Man, Red, how you doing, buddy? It's been a little bit championship race. I know we just went through the dark horse. We went through the picks. Tell me, brother, season 2 in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. How you feeling?
I don't know. We'll find out by this Friday.
Y'all are wacky. I'm gonna hijack this show because we got two drivers ready to roll off the grid here. We're holding the grid and the engines. We're gonna interview first.
No,
the myth, the legend. Oh! Are you good?
Yeah. I don't want the notifications are going off, but hey, I appreciate them. They're going off here. I want to go to the pre-race interviews, and thank you, Dohar. I know you're in a hurry to get green. The drivers are itching to go green as well, but we are doing the finale here, so it is a little bit longer of a pre-race, and I thought we had that conversation. If not, I apologize. And let's go to the first driver, Red. I hear you're down there with Tom Tom, who's racing for a championship.
Yes, sir. Tom, how you feeling, man?
Good. How are you guys doing tonight? You
I'm
excited?
doing well. How's them nerves?
I don't know what to expect tonight. I'm just kind of winging it. Hopefully it goes well for everybody. I just don't want to get into anybody and ruin anybody else's chances. I want to try to keep it nice and clean, and hopefully everybody else will do the same.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, I got to say good luck tonight, man. You've had speed all season long, and I do think you'll have a showpiece for up the front. Good luck once again, Tom.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. We're definitely gonna try. I appreciate HD's shout out to me. Hopefully, we can get it done for you guys and put on a great show.
No doubt, man. Good luck, man.
And HD, I think you're there with your man, your myth, your pick, Mr. Fluffy Stenhouse Jr. What's he got to say about racing for a championship tonight?
Hey, Fluffy, how you doing? You feeling nervous out here tonight?
Nah, man. Honestly, we're just feeling really confident tonight. We got a really good number 17 Ford Mustang for tonight. Hopefully, we can get it done tonight, and it should be a good race, man. And I'm kind of with Tom. I kind of hope this race goes clean for us. We just been in the groove of things. Beginning of the season, it wasn't like we hoped it would be, but we bounced back middle of the season, and here we are, man. And I can't be more happier than the position I'm in right now.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I hear the confidence in your voice. I'm excited to see you out there on track tonight. I really don't want to hold this show up any longer. Can't wait to see you guys get out to the track. Fluffy, good luck, man. I'll be rooting for you.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, guys.
Good luck, Fluffy. And I'm with the Doharian Snowcat Red, as you like to refer to him on the Race 41 podcast, or Race 41 podcast? I'm horrible with brands. And Dohar, you're racing for a championship tonight. How are you feeling? You got some nerves in your belly. You've raced for a championship once before, but now here it is for the eSpark series. Are you looking to make Blake Cook proud?
Yeah, absolutely. We're just ready to go, man. We got a good car, great long run car. I'm really excited. I can't wait.
And where are you sitting on the grid tonight?
We're starting 7th, so we got a little bit of way to claw up, but we're feeling good.
Who's on pole?
Bolts on pole.
Oh, I should have known the bolts on pole. Are you going for a long run, short run car? What do you have to do to put this car into victory lane, or at least finish in front of that 18 who's starting on the pole tonight?
Long run car and keep the car clean.
There you go. Well, good luck to you tonight. Hopefully you'll be hosting that FilterTime eSpark Series Championship trophy at the end of the night. But I am ready to go whenever you are. I got your invite. Go ahead and send. There we go. And we're getting ready to load into the race. FilterTime eSpark Series. Are you guys manually grouping? Because it looks like you're first place there from what I can see.
No.
All right, good to know. I just wanted to make sure here. As we're loading into the race, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, make sure to put in your picks in chat of who do you think will win tonight's championship. And HD, we already know who the guys are going to win, who we think is going to win, but I'm really interested to hear from the chat who do they think will win. Go Fast Matt, Tom, The Bolt, Track Bar, Fluffy, Mordog, Smitty, who snuck in there on Track Bar on the outside 2 weeks ago, Big John and Dohar, but Track Bar's not here, so I think this is going to be a very interesting battle because everyone's going to be chasing the Bolt.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bolt and the Fluffy, I think those are going to be your two top runners here tonight at Martinsville. But can we just talk about the fact that a championship race at Martinsville? I mean, you look at every other league, it's Homestead, it's 1.5 miles, it's 2 miles, it's something that's wide open, something that's really racy. I don't think I've ever seen this done before, guys.
I can't believe it either. It's going to be interesting. Now we're loading into the race here, and it's going to be a high-impact, short track racing under the lights, and I'm excited.
I got you working on it right now.
Green flag is out here at Martinsville.
Yeah, green flag's in the air here at Martinsville Raceway. This is the championship race here in the eSpark Series, brought to you by FilterTime. Here is that 18, the Bolt out here, leading the first lap here tonight with the 32 of Go Fast Matt, running P2.
Go Fast Matt is right behind the 18, who is running a different paint scheme tonight, not his normal green Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry, but a custom scheme. He said to me before the race, this is a tribute to Ryan Newman after the situation, the horrific crash he had at Daytona. He's running this scheme to show some love to that number 6 driver, Ryan Newman, for Roush Fenway. But he is leading the beautiful 32 of the Scooby-Doo machine of Go Fast Matt as we look up the rear bumper here of the 18.
Yeah, that is a beautiful car, and Zane top 4 right now as they run our 4 championship contenders. But the 8 car of Big John smacking the outside wall, coming out of turn 2, hit a more smoke there in that 48. He lost a ton of positions, and top 4 are still going to remain the same.
Top 4, but look at the Bolt now stretching his legs on Go Fast Matt. He's got about a 4-car length lead as we hit the stripe, as we dive into turn 1. Still, Matt is running second and trying to run down this 18 to win a championship.
Yeah, Matt, they're running P2. You know, we didn't really talk about Go Fast Matt a whole lot in the pre-race show. Actually, honestly, we didn't talk about him. Oh, here he is proving us wrong why we should have mentioned his name at least once. Currently running P2.
Running P2, but behind him, the 17 of Fluffy Stenhouse Jr. He's trying to run down the 32 and the 18 as we're watching. And there goes Tom Tom to the inside of the 8 car now if we try to look off the rear deck lid at this battle for 4th.
Yeah, trying to get back here. There is Tom Tom actually moving up to P4. He's going to slide by that 8 car of Big John. Now behind Big John running at P6 is going to be that 88 of Dohar. So top 6 as they run, Zane. Championship contenders.
Championship contenders, and as Macho Man Randy Savage used to say, the cream of the crop rises to the top. And we're seeing that right now here at Martinsville.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before we see these bumpers start flaring out here out on track. That's one of the things when you come to Martinsville. It's okay to use a little bit of bumper. That guy in front of you is not necessarily going to wreck. Just get him up out of the groove. Get by him. You saw that 6 of Tom Tom dive it down into there at turn 3. Squeeze by the 8 of Big John. He's making moves.
And right now we're watching here, the 18 of the Bolt is starting to catch some lap traffic. The 4 car of K. Rainey is going to move out of the way as we drive down the front stretch and give the Bolt the room he needs to try to clear this traffic.
You know, that's great awareness from the 4 car. K. Rainey actually came actually, did he win? I think he either won a race or came so close to winning a race. I think he came so close to winning a race. Ran out of fuel coming out of 4. That's great awareness from him, letting these guys go by. He realizes the situation they're in, but I don't think everybody's going to play so nice.
I don't think everyone's going to play nice either, because as the laps wind down, you talked about it before, those bumpers are really going to start getting used. Those chrome horns, beep, beep, get out of my way. But I think at this moment, it's really early in the race. A lot of guys don't want to have any front-end damage. They don't want to put their cars into situations where they're not going to be able to come out as a winner. And this is for the championship, all the marbles, to hoist the championship trophy for eSpark, the inaugural championship. And right now we're seeing these drivers do what they need to. And the Bolt really leading this field as the Pied Piper.
Yeah, the distance between him and Go Fast Matt really hasn't changed a whole lot. They're still sitting about 5 to 7 car lengths. But I will say that second and third place distance has expanded itself just a bit. About 10 car lengths between them two.
About 10 car lengths between them and about another 15 to 18 car lengths between Go Fast Matt and the 17 who we're looking at right now, a Fluffy Stenhouse Jr., who's starting to feel a little bit of pressure of the 6 of Tom Tom Flitty.
Yeah, it's going to bounce back. Let's get with the 7. Yep, 6 of Tom Tom definitely closing that in just a bit. He's running about a 5 car lengths distance between him and third place. I know he's going to be an aggressive driver here tonight at Martinsville. If you want to win, you're definitely going to need to be a little bit more aggressive.
You got to be aggressive, but already we're seeing the 19 of All Freddy already a lap down as well with K. Rainey, but he is the lucky dog at this point. Maybe a bad setup, maybe a slip up on the start of that race, but he's already a lap down, feeling the pressure from the 17 of Fluffy.
Woo, yeah, the 18 just put the 41 a lap down there, coming out of turn 2. 41 getting wicked loose, cut down just in front of that 32. A Go Fast Matt. Luckily, he was able to avoid that one.
And we're still watching the 17 right now, Fluffy, in the middle of lap traffic, slicing and dicing between the 19 and the 41 to put them a little bit further behind them. But that's just going to keep the room between him and Go Fast Matt, increase that gap a little bit more.
It's increased as we got some car up into the wall there coming through.
That's going to be the 19.
Yeah, I think that's more or less the, let me get out of the way, eject button. We're going to run this baby high. And that's a good, smart move from the 19. Didn't really cause any big drama before the championship contenders.
And this is the interesting part right now. A lot of space between these drivers. The laps are starting to wind down. We know it's about lap 18 in the books of 250. They're a little less than halfway to their fuel first green flag pit stops, and we don't see any situations where a caution could come out. Looking up front, as the 18 gets out, tries to dodge the 11 and the 4. The 4 just dive bombs right into Freydog, and that may bring out a caution.
I think we're going to continue going green here. I have no clue what that really was about. I think the 11 was checking up. The 4 was like, what are you doing? Stopping right in front of me, ran in the back of him, down into turn 1. Luckily, they were both able to hang on to it, and Zane, actually, they went down pit road together. So green flag pit stops may be happening here shortly.
Those are some early green flag pit stops right there. Lap 18, lap 19 in this race. Unless those guys they missed the mark, they need a few adjustments on the car. They're having some hard days here at Martinsville under the lights.
And there's actually another one going down pit road as we speak. That's going to be the 34 Stout Whiskey. He's heading down for more 4 freshy feel goods and maybe a track bar adjustment, maybe feeling a little bit of loose condition.
And let's go to Red, our pit road reporter. Red, you're seeing these guys come down pit road right now. It seems a little off cycle for the time that they need to pit. So is it a situation that the car's just not feeling good at this moment, or are they actually pulling some strategy, do you think?
That would be, it would have to be one of those situations. Their car is just not where they want it. Strategy or no strategy, I do not see them giving up this much ground this early in the race. I just don't know which way you could play the cards for that.
I'm with you, Red. I think pitting, especially this early, about halfway through a fuel run, I necessarily don't think that's the best strategy to do. And we see K-Man actually coming down for another green flag pit stop. So he's going to go multiple laps down. We're talking about 5 to 6 laps. They're already down about 2 laps. So I don't necessarily agree with these strategy calls, if you want to call them that.
Yeah, I will say this. The big mover of the race I've watched is that 48. Y'all seen Big John come off the corner, and unfortunately, a more smoke was put into the inside wall there. He has climbed his way back up all the way to 6th, and he is actually running the leader down around a 10th a second every lap.
And right now, I want to call out to the action here. The Bolt is now in the eye of the storm. Hurricane Martinsville. He's on the bumper of the 20 car, but he is in the middle of lap traffic, and that's letting the Go Fast Matt and Fluffy start to close that gap on the 18.
Yeah, and actually Fluffy really closing the gap on that 32 at Go Fast Matt because he's right on his bumper as they come down the front stretch into turn 1. As you can see, Zane, we called it earlier. Everybody's not going to play so nice. Look at this sea of cars in front of Bolt. We're talking about 7, 8 cars as the 20 at least Justin is going to let them by here through turns 3 and 4.
Leaves Justin, lets the 18 go by, but now the 18's got to get around the 41, who smacks the inside retaining wall, and that's going to clear the sea for him a little bit. But the 18 now has his eyes set on the 21, and who is that bobbing and weaving down the backstretch? I couldn't get an eye on that car.
It's a custom car. It's a custom Mountain Dew car. Actually looks pretty damn good if you ask me. Coming down the front stretch here, but they're currently too wide in front of this 18. I think they need to get this situated awfully fast, or this 18 is going to have a mirror full of that 32 Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine trying to solve the puzzle to win the championship tonight.
Rumbo HD! And looking up the rear deck lid of the 18 car, as we look back, we can see Fluffy Stenhouse is now battling the 32 car for second place. Let's see if we can't pop back and catch this action right here. Oh, and Fluffy doors the 32 as they come through the corner, and it's going to get Fluffy on the inside, move him to second, and Go Fast Matt to third.
There it is. There's that aggressive nature we are talking about. If you want to win, you need to be aggressive. Fluffy was aggressive, diving down into turns 3 and 4, edged them off down the front stretch into turns 1 and 2, and he finds himself with about a 1 car length lead on that 32 at Go Fast Matt.
And still, the hard part right here, it looks like that nice, pretty green, or black and green Mountain Dew car is going to be the 25 of Carroll. And now he's bobbing and weaving in front of the 17 car of Fluffy. And you know he's not going to take nice to this little incident of windshield wiping driving. As Matt gets to the bumper of the 17, we got a great battle, a slobber knocker for second.
Yeah, Matt actually lost a ton of momentum off of turns 3 and 4 right there. He got stuck on the inside of the 20 and leaves Justin. Wasn't able to wind that corner out all the way to the wall. Just killed him. This now has grown to about a 3-car length lead. Battle for second.
And Matt, you can tell he's driving with some aggression. He might be a little frustrated with the way he's sawing that wheel right now, trying to catch back up to that Ford Mustang of that Sunny D machine of Fluffy Stenhouse.
Yeah, coming down the front backstretch, excuse me. We were actually 3 wide there for a minute, coming down into turn 3, but the 9-car checked up out of it. Smart driving for him as the 32 would go fast. Matt's going to slide by. But this distance between second and third is just climbing. Matt is not able to navigate through the traffic quite as well as Fluffy.
No, and Fluffy almost had a close incident with the 21 car earlier there as he got around him. But I also say if we go back about 2 laps, we saw where Fluffy really did a great pick using that 25 car to put a block on Matt to create this gap for second place.
Yeah, and actually going up here towards second and first place, I think this is Bolt right in front of the 47, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be the 47 of Sledgehammer. We're talking about 3/4 of a straightaway of a lead the 18 the Bolt has. But if I'm not mistaken, maybe Red can chime in just a bit. It looks like Fluffy is starting to close the gap just a bit between first and second.
Yeah, can't see up that far, but I can say they're only about 12 laps away from your first cycle of pit stops. So that's going to be very interesting. It's starting to see a lot of these boys attempting to hang on to what they have. But that right rear is getting wore out.
The right rear's getting worn out, and Fluffy Stenhouse Jr. is starting to reel in the regular season champion of the Bolt. Less than a straightaway away from this 18 is the 17 in that Sunny D machine.
Yeah, Fluffy, just looking at Fluffy's line, actually, Fluffy gets loose at a turn 2 there. That's going to cost quite a bit of time, probably 2/10 on this lap. But I think if he can keep it within this distance, if this thing does go green all the way to the end, I think we got ourselves a race.
Oh, look, we already have a race because right now there's the race within the race, HD. You got to navigate the lap traffic. You got to put yourself in the right position to get around them. There's the 00 of Stay Finesse getting out of the way of the 18 as we look off the front end of the 17 as he's trying to run down our race leader as he dives into turn 1. But it's multiple races on different levels. You got to put yourself in front of a championship driver. You got to get through the lap traffic. You got to make sure, as Red pointed out, don't burn out that right rear. And if you do, don't lose the handling off the car on exit.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing out of a lot of these cars. I'm actually kind of scoping through the field, trying to find out where our other championship contenders are. Currently running at it, got my eyes on the 6 of Tom. He's running a little bit slower than what he was earlier. I think he used that right rear up, but I think we're trying to hit the target number. If these guys are getting about 50 laps per green run, flag run, you're going to want to definitely make it to that to be able to make it all the way to the end on 4 more stops.
And here we see Tom in that 6 Acorns machine, that Ford Mustang. He's trying to run down the drivers, and I think he's sitting in 4th still at this moment. If I'm looking, no, he's 5th behind Big John in the 48. So right now, your top 5 as they run: the Bolt, Fluffy, Go Fast Matt, Big John, and Tom.
And that's a great run from the 48, like you said, like Red said. He got a little bit of contact earlier on, got himself in a losing position, was able to battle back up. If I'm not mistaken, he dropped outside the top 10 to be running back up into top 5 in the same green flag run. It's amazing.
And here we're watching Big John right now, who's sitting in 4th place. He just got around the 47 car, but the laps are starting to wind down in this first green flag stint. The question becomes, when do these drivers take these machines, get 4 fresh tires, and a full can of Sunoco race fuel?
It's coming shortly. We're closing in on that 50 lap mark, but I actually got my eyes on that 88 of Dohar.
Fluffy's down pit road.
Yep, there it is right now. So the leaders should be pitting. Fluffy's down. I fully expect the 18 of the Bolt to come down soon after, considering Fluffy was right behind him. But I got my eyes on the Dohar. Dohar is a well-known saving fuel machine. He's out here letting cars roll by him. If he can stretch this thing,
the Bolt's on pit road, Dave Sheet. I mean to interrupt you, but he's giving up the lead to Go Fast Matt as the 18 pulls it down pit road.
Yeah, and that's to be expected. That's a reaction thing right there. He sees the 17 go down. He he views Fluffy as his only competition right now out here on track. But I'm telling you, keep your eyes out for Dohar.
Now, Red, let's go to you. Oh, Red, you actually jumped in. As the 32 and the 8 come down pit road, they bump into each other on entry. But let's go to you here real quick, Red. You can see the cars, how they're handling. What changes would you make on pit road at the moment to help your handling of these cars?
It's really according, 9 out of 10, everybody's going to be fighting loose off here at the end of the run. It's one thing to run a tight car, but especially here, that's the last thing you want. So everybody's on the loose side. I'll say you'll probably see a lot of right side air adjustments, trying to snug the car up a bit for the long run, and possibly some wedge adjustments.
And Tom is now taking the long, slow ride down pit road. He's going to give up the race lead. And I think that's going to leave Dohar out here, if I think I know this well enough. Let's see if we can't find that 88 machine. Where is he hiding out on the track?
He's coming down in turns 3 and still not coming down. So I think he's going with the strategy. Like I said, if he can stretch his 10 laps, he can cut out a whole entire pit stop. And not to mention, if a caution was to come out right now, Dohar would be sitting pretty because all these guys are down 2 laps.
And it's a hard 2 laps to make up under green here at Martinsville. As Dohar, we're looking off the front end of that Valvoline 88 machine as he's starting to catch a murder of cars in front of him. The 41, the 42, the 11, and the 9. And he might put these guys a lap down. There goes the 41, another lap down.
Yeah, I think the 41's multiple laps down. He's had a rough race. That 41 has definitely had up into the wall, but he's playing it very smart. He realizes what's at stake. I like that awareness out of him.
And Dohar now just driving like a man on the mission. The 4 car of K. Rainey again on the outside wall. He's multiple laps down as well.
Yeah, he's going down, and Dohar is still going strong. It's kind of amazing to see him stretch this out as much as he has. This is definitely at least 7 to 8 laps farther than what the 17 was able to do.
This reminds me actually of the exhibition races for the Pro League qualifiers, where the truck race, they were able to eliminate a full pit stop by saving fuel.
You're absolutely right. And I think if I remember, though,
going for.
And if I remember as well, a truck ran out because it was a truck race for that exhibition race where a truck ran out of gas on the last lap going to the line. And I think it was Brian Tedeschi, if I wasn't mistaken. And it looks like Dohar's finally making that slow crawl down pit road. He's going to give up that race lead. Let's see why he's going down pit road if we can't talk to him in that 88 machine. Dohar, you got a copy?
I got a copy written HD and Zane.
Sorry, you don't have to acknowledge me. It's quite all right. How's the car feeling? What are you thinking right now? Can you go the distance?
Yeah, HD's summing it up perfectly. We're just trying to cut out a stop. Our pace is good to where we need it. I mean, the Bolts got us on the short run, no doubt about it. But actually, towards the end of the run, we were keeping the same pace with them. So we know we got pace in this car for the long run, but we need to try and just make sure that we get a little bit better in the short run, a little bit tight. But we don't want to loosen up too much where we're abusing that right rear on the short run. So kind of teetering a balance right here, but I think right now we're kind of sitting pretty.
Well, good luck to you, man. We'll talk to you the rest of the race. Good driving out there.
We did have one stuck on the outside wall in turn 1. I do not know if they potentially disconnected or what happened to them, but we do stay green.
I saw that as well when we switched over to the Bolt, and he spun right in front of that 18. So lucky for the 18 of the Bolt not to get caught up in that calamity and to still be running strong here. But the question becomes, who's going to be able to catch Dohar? If he's cutting out an entire pit stop and he knows he can do it, it might be the Doharian Snowcats Championship right here.
It's dependent on if this thing goes green. He needs this race to go completely green if he wants this to work out in his favor. And honestly, if these guys start to switch to that tactic, it's already too late. They've already made their beds. 17's already pitted about 10 laps before him. You really cannot make up. Because at that point, you got to make up 20 laps, and this is not going to happen. So I think everybody's kind of made their beds so far if this thing goes green.
And we're riding with the 18 right now as he's trying to bob and weave through traffic. But HD, again, that 17, not far behind, about half a straightaway from this 18 of the Bolt.
Yeah, he's still within striking distance. You know, the Bolt has a little bit of hiccup, a little bit of mistake coming out of one of these corners, catches the outside wall. I think the 17 is going to be right there. But honestly, Out of everybody out here running in a top 3, the Bolt is able to make his way through the traffic the best.
And I think a lot of guys are seeing this white Toyota Camry, this custom paint scheme of the 18, and a lot of guys have been getting out of his way. Some guys have been racing harder with this lap traffic, like we saw the Bolt, or not the Bolt, but Go Fast Matt getting worked over a little bit from lap traffic. But everyone seems to be giving this guy the respect and moving out of his way and letting these guys race for a championship as much as possible. But it's the paperclip. It's a short track. It is hard to move out of guys' way sometimes.
It is, especially with it being a one groove track. If that, you get out of the groove, you get in a second groove. That wall comes up very fast, especially if you're in a second groove. All it takes is just nipping that thing, bouncing back down into someone who's racing for the championship, and it's taking them completely out. But so far, Zane, I'm seeing everybody doing a great job.
A great job so far, and it's about lap 65 of 250 here, and they're winding down pretty quickly. I thought this was going to be a little bit longer of a race, but we might be done in a blink of an eye, to quote Michael Waltrip's book, here in the next few, 45 minutes or so, as these guys are just throwing down the laps. And here's something I want to bring to your attention. The 6th place car of Amore Smoke is almost in fear of being put a lap down by that 18 of the Bolt. So up to 7th place has been lapped at this point.
It doesn't surprise me, man. I think I've been to races here where the person who's won the race has lapped every single car, me included. Martinsville is not one of my fortes, not one of my strong shoots. But I kind of resemble to these guys going last down, but hanging in. They got to hang in there. One caution, get a wave around, get the lucky dog, and you're right back in this thing.
And the Bolt still fighting on strong with the 17 of Fluffy Stenhouse Jr. behind him. And then few car lengths behind him will be the 32 of Ghost Fast Matt. And that's going to be your top 3 so far here at Martinsville for this championship and for the FilterTime eSpark series. And man, the Bolt is on rails right now.
He's on rails, but I'm keeping an eye on that gap between him and Fluffy. And Fluffy is looking awful bigger when I look in the rear view mirror right behind the Bolt. This thing is cut down to about 5 to 7 car lengths. And look at Fluffy dive this baby into the corners. That's where it seems like he's making up most of his time.
And we're looking off the front end of that Sunny D17 machine of Fluffy Stenhouse Jr. as he's starting to reel in that 18. And you know what? Fluffy might have this long run car down, because we saw this before green flag stops happened. He was able to inch closer and closer and closer to this 18, and he's doing it once again.
Yeah, he's doing a hell of a job, and he's working his way through the traffic, doing it that as well. So being able to manage the traffic and close the gap, that 17's definitely got a good car. If I'm the Bolt and I'm looking in my mirror, I do not want to see him get by to 47 to Sledgehammer, because I know I'm going to have my hands full. And there it is right there, 17 by to 47.
47 just slid out of his way. I think he got loose off of 4. But now it's a 2-car battle between the 18 and the 17 if Fluffy can close this gap in the next corner.
And that's exactly what he's doing. He's down to about 2 car lengths now, coming off of turn 4, down the front stretch into turn 1.
73 in the book, 74 is being written here at Martinsville of 250 in the FilterTime eSpark Series Championship race. And look, HD, the Bolt starting to stretch his legs again a little bit. That lead now to 4, 5, 6 car lengths as we go down the front stretch.
Yeah, I think this is now Fluffy realizing, like, all right, man, this is my race to be had. I got him in my sights. He's working his way through the traffic beautifully, made a mistake. He just needs to get back in that rhythm, get back in focus, and there it is right there, closing it back down to about 3 car lengths.
And we're still watching here off of Fluffy's car as he starts to reel in the 18 of the Bolt. And he's there, HD, right to his bumper, less than a car length away. And now it's a 2-car battle for the championship.
Yeah, Fluffy closing the gap rapidly fast right now as they come through turns 3 and 4. Getting ready to come down the front stretch. We have to ask him, or I'd like to ask him right now, how much are you willing to use that front bumper?
Oh, and we know for a fact every driver in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League said, you know what, I would spend my grandma for a championship. So these guys are willing to use the chrome horn when the trophy's on the line. And now we're about to see what's going to happen. A Toyota Camry and a Ford Mustang nose to tail for the championship here at Martinsville.
Yes, they come up the turn 2, but we got a car up into the wall, and a 9 smashes into him. Zane, we might have our first caution of the night. Getting ready to develop. No word yet. We're still green.
Still green, no caution yet, and it looks like the...
Ooh,
No,
my heart
woo! Wow, thank you for virtual sports, esports, and internet racing, because that could have been a horrible crash, but luckily the car ghosted and we're still green, as the 17 is still on the bumper of the 18, trying to chase him down to take this race lead.
Yeah, he was right there, went straight through the car. Here comes Fluffy, actually diving it down in a turn 3. He's moving up the P1 at Sunny D Light Machine, leading his first laps tonight here at Martinsville.
Move Fluffy to first, Bolt to second. We have a new race leader at Martinsville, and you know what? The sun is shining under the lights at night because Fluffy is starting to try to walk away from the 18.
Yeah, Fluffy's got that long run car, but remember, Zane, it's still all about this thing goes green. We got to keep our eyes on that 88. I think he might have the ticket to win this baby.
But we also know that Fluffy's going to have to come down pit road very soon. It's lap 81 of 250. He pitted about 10 laps earlier than Dohar did. So we know within the next 8 laps, Red, correct us if we're wrong, we're going to see that 17 machine come down pit road.
Yeah, and that was the downfall from Fluffy's last league experience, and hopefully he's learned from that. But unfortunately, yeah, he's going to be having to look to pit here within the next, I'd say, 5 to 10 laps, which is going to put him, about 10 laps short.
10 laps short of a championship? Quite possible, as we're looking down from the FilterTime blimp cam at the 17 of Fluffy. As he's leading this race, we see the distance between him and the 18 of the Bolt as they come down the backstretch, or front stretch.
Yep, coming down the front stretch here, down in the turn 1, Fluffy's able to maintain this lead to about 2 car lengths on that 18 of the Bolt. Bolt's not really going anywhere as they run in. Zane, maybe the Bolt might be saving a little bit. Maybe he's just checking that corner up. Red just said that as they run right now, Fluffy might be 10 laps short, so maybe the Bolt's trying to check it up, save those extra 10 laps.
Quite possible. It's lap 85 of 250, so we know that Ford Mustang is going to come down pit road soon. And the thing is, I think the Bolt might actually just overdrove the car a little bit. And Fluffy gets sideways a little bit off of turn 4, straightens back out as we dive into 1.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one because the Bolt right behind him got a little bit of sideways as well coming out of the turn 4 down that front stretch. He was able to save it. Bolt actually also tapped the wall coming out of turn 2, so this lead's now extended to about 4 car lengths between first and second.
But now the hard part becomes you're leading this race as Fluffy. You have to navigate traffic while keeping the 18 in your rear view mirror. You know that's not an easy task to do, especially at a short track like this. But I really have to wonder, how sweaty are those palms of Fluffy the Amish Stenhouse Jr.?
I think he's got to worry about his knees being weak and heavy from the amount of times he's on the brake pedal here at Martinsville, on the gas, barely just tapping it. That will wear those casts, wear those knees out. He's doing a hell of a job. We're not even halfway through this puppy.
We're not even halfway through it, and right now we're watching a great battle here between the 17 and 18.
It is a great battle. Bolt's actually closing in just a bit. They're now about 2 car lengths separating each other. Now, last time, Fluffy did pit 1 lap earlier than the Bolt. Maybe we see a flip-flop. Maybe the Bolt comes down 1 lap earlier to be able to jump him. Stay tuned to find out here in the eSpark Filter Series. FilterTime
eSpark Series. It's quite all right, HD. You're a busy man. You need your rest, your beauty sleep. It's quite all right.
Oh, man. I tell you what, I can't wait till this baby goes another time slot.
Hey, there's rumors that it could be starting sooner, but we'll have to wait and see because this is the final race of the Cup Series. So keep an eye out on the at eSpark Series on Twitter for all the updates about Season 2. When can you drive? How can you drive? And when will it start going on in the future? Because I know there's a lot of guys on the Xbox side who are very interested in this series, who want to race with it. But HD, while these laps are winding down, I think it'd be kind of cool to talk about what we got going on next week, March 1st.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. What, we got 6 leads on the Xbox or something crazy like that? I mean, it's hard to imagine 6 leads coming together, you know. Not that these guys, like, bash each other all the time. It's crazy to see them finally come together, do a community event, and I'm excited to call it with you up in the booth.
It's going to be really fun. I like to call it the Community Calamity at Auto Club. It's going to be 6 of the greatest leagues on Xbox racing it out for an all-star event to help promote the awareness for Extra Life. It's going to be me and you calling the action inside the booth with special guest Michael Levine coming in for a pre-race interview. You know Michael Levine, he's the chief operating officer over at Levine Family Racing. He's the man who makes the decisions for Levine Family Gaming, the eNASCAR Heat Pro League team. So I'm really excited to be calling some action, watching some great drivers from all over the Xbox side. As an Xbox guy myself, it's fun to watch these guys race, but it's even better to call them while they're battling. And there goes the 17 of Fluffy down pit road. He's now going to give up the lead to the 18 of the Bolt, HD.
Yeah, unless the Bolt is actually trying to save those extra 10 laps, I'm coming down pit road right now. Fluffy had about a 5 to 7 car length lead on him as we watch him come down the backstretch, coming down into turns 3 and 4. He does not go. He does not elect to go. I think he's in fuel-saving mode.
Fuel-saving mode, but now he's got to wait because I hear it. Ba-dum, ba-dum. That 88 is now in second place. Dohar has taken over the second position from Go Fast Matt, who put that Mustang on pit road, and now it's the 18 and 88 show.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the 88. Here he is, and actually, that 88 of Dohar is not too far behind that 18 of the Bolt, considering he's in fuel-saving mode. If this thing goes green, man, I think we're looking at a championship here, Dohar.
And we're looking up the rear deck lid of the 18 of the Bolt, and we see the distance, the gap between the 88 of Dohar, only about a straightaway away. The Doharian Snowcat is slowly starting to reel in the Bolt.
And he's reeling him in, and we know Dohar can go easily about 15 laps farther than what the 17 of Fluffy just pitted 2 laps ago. As these laps start winding it down, getting ready to catch to the halfway point, it's looking good for the 88.
On board with the 88 now as he's trying to navigate traffic. He's got the 9 in front of him, and I think that's the 20 car as well. Oh, the 42 is sideways. That's not going to bring out a caution as the 18 comes down pit road. We got another victim at the paperclip.
Yeah, it's the paperclip, man. There's the 20 at least, Justin. Heavy front end damage in that car coming down into turn 1. Checks up out of it, lets the Dohar go by. So now your race leader out here in the 88 is gonna be Dohar. 6 of Tom Tom going down as well.
Now we know Dohar extended his last green flag stop about, 6 to 8 laps longer than the Bolt did? So the question becomes, when will he bring this Chevrolet Camaro down pit road and get service?
I'm thinking like 10 laps, man. I mean, Dohar is he's out here wheeling it. He's smooth. He's steady. You don't necessarily see him getting loose at all on the later runs compared to these other championship hopefuls out here on the track tonight.
Speaking of championship hopefuls, fresh tires. He's going to have the 17 breathing down his neck. The question is, will Dohar let Fluffy go or try to keep him a lap down?
Nah, he's going to
let him go.
I think Fluffy's actually still 1 lap down, if I'm not mistaken. If you pit here, you go 2 laps down. So he's still got a +1. And next to his name with these guys, he's got the 18 of Bolt right behind him with this little chaos coming out of turn 2. As Dohar's probably going to let the 18 go by as well.
Dohar of the 88 and Bolt of the 18 had to dodge the 11 of Frey Dog coming off turn 2 there. But still, Dohar trying to hold on strong as he lets the 18 of the Bolt go. Fresh tires versus old tires. We're starting to see it come into play.
Yeah, and you know the 18 of the Bolt really does not want to see this going side by side with Dohar through turns 1 and 2 because Bolt was actually kind of about 3-4 car lengths back from that 17. That's now extended to about 7 car lengths as they run coming down the backstretch.
And there's Tom Tom in the 6 now working on the leader of Dohar, trying to get a lap back here. And Tom Tom clears him on the outside, no less, here at Martinsville.
Yeah, that's just Dohar fuel saving, man. I mean, he's gone easily about, what, 5 laps farther than Fluffy. Probably about 7, honestly, maybe 5 farther than the Bolt. Still going strong. He's not pitting just yet.
He's probably waiting until he hears that thing go, 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 and he's like, oh, I'm out of gas. Time to pull it down. And I bet he's trying to plant it right on the backstretch at some point so he can just coast in and not have to worry about pumping the brake at all.
He's got the 41 right in front of him, though. I think 41.
Hey, that was close. The 41 takes it through the grass, and he smacks. Oh,
that might bring out a caution right there. I mean, there's a huge one down
Yep.
in the top 3. Caution is out. Dohar did not want to see that.
Dohar didn't want to see that happen, but you know what? That's gonna put trap a couple of guys a lap down here.
You know that is, and that's interesting to say, Zane, because now they got a decision to make. They were out there for about 10 laps, I'm going to say, on those tires. Do you pit, you stay a lap down, or do you get that waiver round?
Oh, man. See,
It looks like all the way up to 5th place was lapped.
so the top 5. So right now as they run, it's Dohar, J-Mac, Moordog, Fluffy, and the Bolt on the lead lap, and then Jose's 720 is the first car a lap down. Whew.
All right, so, and honestly, that's good news for the Bolt and Fluffy, because I don't think if they would have won it, this thing would have went completely green. But here we are, Zane, about to go green flag racing after the first caution of the night at Martinsville Speedway. This race is brought to you by FilterTime with green flags in the air coming down in turn 1.
Green flag out again, and they're side by side off of turn 2 as we watch them battle here.
And they're side by side. Top 3 look like they're going to be single filed out with the 3 of J-Mac on the outside. But we got the 17 of Fluffy diving it down in there. He's right behind the 18 of the Bolt.
Watching up the rear decklet of the 88 of Dohar, your race leader. They're 2 by 2 by 2, 6 rows deep as they come off the corner down the front backstretch. And Fluffy's going to put the Bolt back behind him, move Fluffy to 2nd, the Bolt to 4th now, as it looks like Moordog has made a move.
And there's a drag race down the front stretch into turn 1 with the 5 of Moordog and the 18 of Bolt on the outside. 5 of Moordog with the P3, 32 of Go Fast Matt. Looking to pounce here because the 18's looking like a wounded gazelle on the outside. Finally able to get down low.
Wah, wah. You know, HD, he's trying to hold on strong. He's trying to get back into that rhythm. And the Moordog in the 5 is going to slide way up high off the corner. That's going to open the door for the 18 of the Bolt. But Fluffy in the 17, two-wheeling it through the corners on the bumper of the 88.
Yeah, the Bolt down low underneath the 5. A Moordog should be able to clear him here. Coming out of turn 2. There it is. He's going to pull a little slide job on him. Coming down the backstretch. No crossover this time by into 3.
And we're with Fluffy right now in 2nd place. He's stuck in between a Camaro and a Camry, and he's battling for a championship with Dohar currently right now leading this race. The 17 in 2nd, the 18 in 3rd, and if the race finished out this way, HD, you know you'd hate to see it, but Dohar would love to see it because he would walk away a champion, as now the 18 is putting the pressure on the 17.
Yeah, 18's actually looking low here, down into turns 1 and 2. Wasn't quite able to dive it down into this time, but he's getting a hell of a run off of turn 2, down a backstretch into turn 3.
Side by side for 2nd place. Dohar's got a rear view mirror full of the 18 now as Fluffy falls back to 3rd.
Yeah, Fluffy's back to 3rd, Bolt up the P2, but they both got their eyes on that 88 of Dohar with about a 3-car length lead as they run.
3-car length lead. Is it going to be enough? We know Dohar's got the long run car. Bolt and Fluffy have that short to mid-range car. I'll say, you know what? Bolt's got the short run car, and Fluffy's got that mid to long range. But HD, Dohar in that 88, our race leader, has shown that he is the top of the field when it comes to those long green flag runs.
You know, we say he's got long run car, but here he is kind of showing the Bolt, showing the 17 of Fluffy up because he's currently your race leader. Bolt is closing the gap just a bit, but I think Dohar can hold on just long enough. He might be still good to go to the end.
As we're watching off the front end of the 18 of the Bolt, trying to reel in the 88 of Dohar in that Valvoline machine. and he's closing the gap. There he is, half a car length to a car length as we come through the corners. Off the corner, down the front stretch here, or back stretch here, and still Dohar creeping away. Bolt closes in once again.
Yeah, Bolt's now right on that 88's bumper. It's only a matter of time before he decides to dive it down into the corner, but it's kind of hard. Dohar's running a good line except for that through turns 1 and 2. Got a little bit of high. I think that might have been Bolt's chance to capitalize there. We'll see if he does it again down in turns 3 and 4. Dohar again riding up just a bit in the center.
And it's a two-car battle for the lead now as the Bolt slowly inching closer and closer to the bumper. There he is of the 88. Will he use the chrome horn or will he dive bomb him going into the corner?
All right, there it is. Dohar throwing that big protection line down in turns 3 and 4. He might have thought Bolt might have dove it down in there. He said, no, 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 not today, young fella. Dohar on the defensive.
Dohar on the defensive, viewing everything he can to keep the 18 behind him. The Bolt throws that 18 deep into the corner, and now he's closed that gap up again to less than a car length.
As they come down the front stretch, though, it's grown to about a car length and a half coming through turns 1 and 2, coming off of 2, down the back stretch, a car length in between them. Now the gap between second and third has grown to about 3 car lengths.
I wouldn't say it's grown. I think it's gotten smaller. As the 88 and the 18 have been battling here, playing chess here at Martinsville, Dohar closing off the lanes, not letting the Bolt get the runs he needs. We're starting to see the 17 of Fluffy sneak up to this battle. Slowly, I might say, but he's still getting bigger in the rearview mirror of that 18.
Yeah, I mean, Bolt is just cruising. You know, maybe this might be one of those learning curves Bolt's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to see where Dohar is strong, where Dohar is saving, where Dohar's able to run this thing about 10 more laps than him. Maybe he's in learning mode right now.
He might be in learning mode, but you know what? What I want to do is let's do a little bit of a filter time, crank it up as these guys battle here at Martinsville. And for all your filter needs, head over to FilterTime.com to get the filters that make your house smell good, you breathe better. And here we are once again at Martinsville HD, and the Bolt is slowly there. He's not falling back at all. He's about half a car length away. Dohar stretches his legs on the back stretch as we dive into 3.
Well, I hope the Bolt learned a lot in class because he's now got a heat-seeking missile on his bumper that he's going to have to worry about with the 17 of Fluffy as they come down a front stretch into turn 1. 1, 2, 3, Zane running nose to tail.
1, 2, 3, running nose to tail. The 88, the 18, the 17, and we're looking off the rear deck lid of the Bolt in that 18 machine when he's got a whole rear view mirror full of Sunny D, and it's not even time for breakfast.
It's nighttime, man. It's never too late for a good glass of Sunny D. I can't complain. But the gap between second and third's grown actually just a bit to about 3 car lengths as they come down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Bolt still going to school, trying to find where he can take advantage of the 88 of Dohar.
Lap count right now as they run is 133 of 250. Make it 134 of 250 here.
Yeah, so just over halfway. Green flag pit stops now should be happening pretty soon.
Now, HD, I got a question for you. Were you a Sunny D kid growing up, or were you a, purple drink?
What purple drink? What are you talking about, purple
What?
drink? I've never even heard of a purple
You
drink.
never heard of...
before.
It's grape Kool-Aid, man. We called it purple drink where I grew up.
We call that, oh yeah.
Oh,
Nah, man,
yeah.
I like Kool-Aid, man. I like Sunny D. You know, Sunny D is more of a morning thing. Kool-Aid's kind of all-day thing. But Zane, I'll tell you what, these guys better look out for this Sunny D Fresh Delight Machine Ford Mustang coming down a backstretch, pushing Bolt all the way down to turn 3.
Bolt got a little squirrely as we're looking up the front end of that Sunny D machine of Fluffy Stenhouse as he pops to the inside, now gets back in line. It's still the 88, the 18, the 17, your top 3 running for a championship.
Yeah, and I've still got my eyes out for those early lap cars going down pit road. Haven't seen anybody quite yet, but Zane, we got a lap traffic car up ahead of the 88. That's going to be the 47 of Sledgehammer. Now, Zane, Dohar really hasn't been able to deal with this yet, leading the field, going by lap traffic. Other than in fuel-saving mode, this is going to be a first time for him tonight.
And Dohar leaves the door open just a little bit for the 18, but he can't capitalize as the 18 falls back in line and falls about 2 car lengths back. And you know what? I think Dohar can handle the pressure. The question, though, is does the Bolt wait for the right moment to strike when Dohar's trying to navigate this traffic and uses one of these lap down cars as a pick, like he did on the 32 of Go Fast Matt earlier with the 25 of Carroll?
That could be another thing he's waiting for, but these guys are just all over each other. Dohar's getting a little bit of high out of these corners. I know he's getting a good run, but only takes a little bit for Bolt to get to the inside, tap his corner panel. There he is, bumping them through turns 3 and 4 as they go side by side down the backstretch for P2.
That opened up the door for Fluffy. Fluffy on the outside in the 17. Bolt on the inside of the 18. Bolt's going to move back to second. Fluffy's going to fall back to third. And I think Bolt's tired of waiting. He gave a shot to the 88. Again, the 88 hits the curbing through the corners. That's going to stack up the pack behind him as it's looking off the rear deck lid now, HD, between this battle of the 17 and the 18.
Yeah, 17 on the outside of the 18 a few times. There's a crossover move from Fluffy down the back stretch. Great move for him, moving up to P2.
P2 for that Sunny D machine Ford Mustang power. He's going to put that Camry in third place. Now he's got his target set on this 88 of Dohar. The question is Fluffy's car now finally coming into his groove? We know Fluffy usually starts to get hot halfway through a green flag run, a fuel run, and I think we're starting to see that happen right now. He drank some Sunny D.
That was just a beautiful art of work right there from that 17 car. He went high. He knew Bolt was going to ride up at it too. It took well advantage of it as he moves up the P2, coming out of backstretch with heavy traffic in front of these guys.
Heavy traffic in front of these guys. We're looking down from the blimp cam. The 18 gives the 17 of Fluffy a shot. Now Dohar's trying to find a way around the 42 as he dives into the corner. Fluffy's going to sneak up about a bumper. Can't quite get there. And now Dohar stretches his legs.
Yeah, that 42 car Chrome Capone actually touches the outside wall, coming through turns 3 and 4 down the front stretch. That's going to kill the 17 and the 18's momentum just a bit, as they are now gapped about 3 car lengths from Dohar.
Dohar, a man on a mission, trying to hold off the 17 and 18 of Fluffy and the Bolt. He wants to win a championship. He can feel it and taste it as we're about 104 laps away from the conclusion of this race.
Yeah, laps winding down. You know these tires are screaming. Let's go down here with Red. Red, what do you got for these green flag pit stops that should be happening here shortly?
A bunch of small adjustments, but I'll tell y'all the truth. I was so entertained by the broadcast. I've been sitting here. That's why I've not been talking and just watching the actual broadcast. The racing is absolutely phenomenal at this point. So I expect, minor changes, but just the same as what they've been doing.
I want to cuff you off, Red. Yeah. We got a battle for the lead. The 17 of Fluffy has moved Dohar to second, and now Fluffy a little slideways off the corner as he's now leading this train.
Yeah, Fluffy up the P1 with laps winding down here at Martinsville. We got the 88 and the 18 getting loose at a turn 2 down the backstretch. 88's in trouble, dropping back to P3. Woo! As they are still battling out for P2 back here.
I think he's pushing, HD. I think that car's gotten really tight on him. He's burned those tires up faster than he wanted to, trying to hold off the 17 and the 18. Now he's in third, trying to run these two down again. To the inside, Dohar, 18 side by side as we come off the corner, and it looks like Dohar's going to try to power through as we have a drag race into the corner.
Yeah, Bolt was actually able to hang strong there on the outside. That's pretty surprising to see. Usually the person with the inside line is going to be able to slide up in front of that guy coming out of the corner. Wasn't quite able to get it done. Bolt showing his strength there.
Bolt showing the strength and the horsepower and the setup he's got. But you know what? You know who's loving this battle right now? That 17 of Fluffy. He wants these two battling it out like it's the last lap because that lets him walk away from these two and increase that lead.
Yeah, he's got about a 10 car length lead here on the 18 of Bolt and Zane. As I look down pit road, I see cars start trickling down there. Green flag pit stop should be happening here within the next 5 laps.
Tom on pit road. We saw him as we looked up the rear deck lid of the Sunny D machine of Fluffy Stenhouse Jr. And now you see the gap between the 18, the 17, and the 88 to the 18. 1, 2, 3. These 3 drivers running for a championship here at Martinsville. And Fluffy currently is your race leader.
Yeah, Fluffy's still able to extend that lead just a bit. He's got about a 12 car length lead right now as they run. So I think this is where the transition starts to happen. You said it, 18 of the Bolt. He's got a great short run car. Fluffy's got that good short to medium run car. And Dohar can just go about 10 laps farther than everybody else out here on track. Be interesting to see though if Dohar goes with the same strategy with laps winding down.
Less than 100 laps to go here at Martinsville. And you know what? I'll say this, HD. Fluffy's car doesn't come in until the midway through of a fuel run. He figured that car finally gets into its groove, its rhythm, has dropped enough of that fuel load, and he just starts hauling butt like a madman. Because look at the gap off the rear deck lid to the 18, about 6 to 7 car lengths, and he just gets further and further away, and that 18 gets smaller every time they hit the straightaway.
Yeah, 18's up to get smaller, but I think this is where Dohar is saving. Actually, the 18's actually closing the gap on the 17 of Fluffy, because here comes the 18 of Bolt actually coming down pit road.
18 of Bolt is going to give up second place. He's going to bring that 18 machine on a long, slow, arduous drive down pit road. Now the question is, when does Fluffy Stenhouse Jr. and the 17 machine bring that Ford Mustang down pit road? International sign right now.
Yep, he's bringing it one lap later from the 18 of Bolt. That's a good call from him as the 88 of Dohar still stretching it out. Dohar taking a race lead.
Dohar's got this race lead. And man, I'm looking at that camber on that right front. It is jacked almost at a 90-degree angle. So you know he's working and sawing that wheel. The question becomes, how long can he stay out on these tires?
I don't think it's going to be quite as long as the other run, in my opinion. I mean, kind of pushing pretty strong with those guys earlier on. He wasn't really cruising and saving as much as I think. But I don't know, it's Dohar. Anything's possible with him.
We commented on it earlier, as now Dohar's catching the 18 of the Bolt here, trying to put him another lap down, but he's not going to be able to do it. Fresh tire versus old tires. Just Dohar, I think, burned up a lot of his equipment battling these two, the 17 and the 18, on that green flag run there. And here comes Fluffy off pit road, another lap down for him. But we know, and Dohar's going to bring that 88 machine down pit road now.
Yep, Dohar is coming down, so he went about 5 to 7 laps farther possibly than the Bolt did, as he went about 6 laps farther than the 17 of Fluffy. Fluffy pitted 1 lap later compared to him. And can we get a lap count out here? How many laps we got left?
90 to go.
90 to go, yes sir. Dohar, how's that 88 machine feeling for you?
Tight as all get out, man. It's tight. They kept driving the car in so hard just to try and hold those guys off, and so tight it's actually burning the right rear. But it's good to see we got the pace. At least, if we get to a late race restart, maybe we'll try something funky. But the 17 and the 18 are class of field right now. I mean, we were just lucky to be up there and be in consideration. But, all in all, great car. Great job by the team. Just glad we're out here competing.
Dohar, our in-race reporter, driving that 88 machine. He's running for a championship. We'll talk to you later, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah, definitely. Good luck to the 88 of Dohar as he comes out of pit road onto the racetrack. He's around a bunch of traffic. He's actually got 2 of the championship contenders in front of him with the 8 of Big John and a 6 of Tom Tom.
And I'm watching the 18 of the Bolt right now because I think he might be our race leader after these green flag pit stops cycle through. So we're going to keep an eye on him for the next few moments as he is our race leader running down this line, trying to get around the 5 of Mordog. He does. He's putting him another lap down. All he's got is clear sailing in front of him because the closest car is going to be, I think, the 00 of Stay Finesse, who is also going to go another lap down once he catches him.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Sorry, it's the 21.
I'm not sure what happened to Fluffy's pit stop because he lost a ton of ground. If you not remember, Fluffy was about 7 car lengths in front of the Bolt. Yeah, he pitted 1 lap later, but this man has got about a 20 car length lead on second place. So maybe it was a slow pit stop for that 17 machine. You hate to see it. That's one sucky way to lose a race.
Fluffy now battling lap traffic, trying to get around the 5 cars. We're watching him battle here. Mordog gets into his bumper coming off the corner, stacks up the field behind him. Now Fluffy's got a clear sailing as he tries to run down the 18.
Yeah, that's the only thing going good for him right now. He's got clear track in front of him. It's time to get focused. It's time to go to work. I think he can get it done. We still got about 80 laps to go before that checker flag flies to crown your first ever champion here in the FilterTime eSpark Series.
Speaking of filter time, you know what? We're about less than 90 to go. Let's crank up that AC a little bit. Let's cool it off. Let's get loud here at Martinsville. The FilterTime eSpark Series Championship race at Martinsville. Remember, if you need fresh air to breathe good and you want some really awesome filters, head over to FilterTime.com and order yourself some. Blake Cook has a great company. We thank him again for sponsoring the first season of eSpark here on Xbox.
Or if you don't want your significant other for yelling at you for never changing those filters, make sure to check out FilterTime because they will deliver it straight to your door when it's time to change them.
You know, and you're absolutely right, because I have a lot of people yell at me. It's like, why does your house smell so weird? And it's like, because it smells good? They're like, no, it smells different. I'm like, that's because I have FilterTime filters. And they're like, FilterTime filters? I'm like, hold on, let me show you real quick. And I pull up a laptop, go to FilterTime.com, and I show them all the great benefits of having a FilterTime filter in your house. Next thing I know, they want to use my laptop to order some awesome filters. And right now, the 18 is ordering a prayer as he's trying to work through the 42 and lap traffic to make this gap bigger between him and the 17.
Yeah, I got my eyes on between that gap, between that 18 and the 17 of Fluffy. And honestly, is that
It's
Fluffy
huge.
in that yellow car back there? Or do I not even see Fluffy anymore? I mean,
Fluffy's almost a whole straightaway away. We're looking off the rear deck lid. Let's see if we can't see him coming to view. There he is now exiting turn 2. Man, the Bolt is in his own area code as the laps are winding down.
yeah, and that's something Fluffy does not want to see with under 80 to go here in the FilterTime eSpark Series Championship race. Bolt right now with a commanding lead. We're talking about a whole straightaway lead here at Martinsville.
But he's also trying to navigate the high seas of lap traffic. He's got the 5 car of Mordog in front of him and the 25 of Carroll behind him. And Bolt gives a bump to the 5, says, hey man, beep, beep, out of my way. I want to borrow a cup of brown sugar, but I got a championship to win today.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind, man, that 5 of Mordog is actually one of those championship contenders. He might not play so nice with the 18 of the Bolt, and here he is going side by side down the front stretch into turn 1 on the outside of him.
2 by 2, too wide as we come off the corner. Moordog ain't giving an inch. He's not letting the Bolt get by easy, but the Bolt's going to clear him and put him another lap down.
Yeah, Moordog going a lap down here with the 42 of Chrome Capone right behind him. This may be a battle for a lucky dog position. I'm not too sure about that. You know, no tool, no leaderboarding. You know, that's a little hard to tell from up here in the booth. But man, what great racing that was right there, side by side action.
Great racing side by side, but right now the laps are starting to quickly wind down as HD. That was going to be lap 181 of 250.
All right, so now let's bring Red back into the booth here. I don't know if he's still watching the stream or not, man. Red, you got to copy this. So when it comes to this next pit stop, are you pitting when you're good to go to the end? You're going to split it? What would you do?
I would pit as early as possible. Let them stay out, burn their tires up. That'll be more time you're making up. The issue is you're going to have a little rust on your tires by the end of it, but for the ground they're going to have to make up on the Bolt, I would pit the minute I got the chance.
And that's honestly a good call for those guys, especially with the 17 of Fluffy so far behind. I think you do need to do something different from the current race leader, the 18 of the Bolt. Now, if I'm the Bolt, I'm splitting this bad boy in half. I have no care in the world, because one thing you do not want to happen is you come down the pit road, you go 2 laps down, and a caution comes out, you just threw that championship out the window.
Well, HD, let me ask you a question real quick. You're Fluffy. You've been in the top 4 for a championship in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League when you guys came here to Charlotte and battled it out. Now, if you have these many guys in front of you, you know that you got to clear the 42 sideways. He's going to go ghost mode to let this thing go green. We'll have to wait to see if that brings a caution out. But as I was saying, would you start making deals in Xbox parties? Would you be like, look, guys, I need to catch this 18. Can you guys just move out of my way? Give me the room I need to catch him? Or do you just kind of battle your way through it? Are you a wheel and deal maker, or are you just going to power through?
I'm a power through, man. I mean, you know that, the whole season, it was a whole Valley and HD versus the world out there on the Xbox side. It kind of turned to a HD versus the world and Valley versus the world, because we kind of fell apart there a bit towards the end. But nah, man, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not really worried about anybody else's race. I'm not out there to make deals, I'm here to win a race. That's what I'm showing up to do. So I fully expect the 17 of Fluffy to do the same thing.
Great insight, and yes, I remember the Valley and HD versus the world. As Scott Cole used to say, Valley and HD, the top 2 drivers in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League.
Yeah, man. Good
I
times,
miss Scott at times. He was in New York last night for the NBA 2K League draft, hanging out there, ordering Panera bread. Didn't even get me a sandwich, which I'm a little bit upset about, as the Bolt now putting the 20 another lap down as he dives into turn 1.
I guess that 20 at least Justin up on the high side. It's a great awareness from him, realizing what's at stake, been saying it all night long. Great driving from that 20 car, as he's got the 24, Jose 720, if I'm not mistaken, right in front of him.
That is going to be Jose 720 in front of the 18. But right now, let's take a look off the rear deck lid of the 18 to take a look at that gap between him and the 17. The Bolt down the back stretch. There's Fluffy coming off of turn 2 now. The Bolt diving through 3 and 4.
Yeah, and this is a battle for a position, if I'm not mistaken. Jose's actually fighting to stay on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken. He got the lucky dog last caution. Here he is going a lap down to the 18 in the Bolt. We'll see how much he's going to fight to be able to claw back into this and possibly get right back in front of him, as the Bolt's actually starting to extend it just a bit. I don't think he's going to be able to get there.
I don't think he's going to be able to extend this lead much more, but he's starting to run down the 42, which we just saw him a few laps ago, sideways on the inside retaining wall. The question is he going to be able to get around him, or is he going to spin in front of him?
Well, I hope it's get around and not spin in front of him, or at least for Bolt's sake. He doesn't want to see somebody spin in front of him. Now he does got a few cars in front of him. He's got the 6 of TomTom actually up here as well. So, he's one of those championship hopefuls. Once the 18 gets to him, that's going to be a battle that TomTom does not want to lose.
And the 42 gets out of the way of the 18 of the Bolt. The 47 now getting worked on by the 18. He's going to try to put him a lap down. He moves out of the way. The 47 does. Now that leaves TomTom in the 6 right in front of our race leader, the 18, the Bolt.
Yeah, you know, Tom's looking right in his mirror. He's kind of running that defensive line, running about halfway through turns 1 and 2, up in the second groove. Here is Bolt actually going down low into turn 1.
Side by side again, the Bolt putting another car a lap down as the 42 is right there on the bumper, using that momentum to put him in front of the 6.
I don't think he can see where the 18 is in front of him, the way the hood smashed up on
Chrome-
the front of that 42. He can't really see, man.
Chrome Capone's pulling an Ace Ventura right now. He's got the window net down, his head stuck out the driver's side window, just looking at the track trying to steer at this moment.
Yep, there's that curve right there. Let me just get right on that through turns 3 and 4. Yep, there's Bolt as well. Look, hey, Bolt, how you doing, buddy? As they come down the front stretch, 42, a Chrome Capone all over the bumper of the 18 of the Bolt.
And like I want to do right now, HT, is we're going to come back into the field a little bit. Go to the 17 of Fluffy. We're going to see that distance between him and the Bolt. Fluffy's in turn 3 right now, coming through the corner. He's got to get past the 20 of Leafs Justin, the 6 of TomTom. But we can see that bright blue Toyota Camry getting a little bit bigger. Not as big as he wants it, but a little bit bigger than it was before.
Yeah, he's closed the gap down just a bit. I'm going to call it about 5-7 car lengths. He's closed it down, but if he wants to win this baby, I still think he's going to need a caution or the Bolt to have a huge, giant hiccup when these puppies go down the green flag pit stops, which should be happening here shortly, you would think.
Shortly indeed, right now, as the Bolt is getting worked on by Chrome Capone and that 42, he's not giving up. He's staying right in his wake.
Yep, and there he is. Yep, Chrome Capone all over his bumper. But as we talk about green flag pit stops, the 25 of Carroll is down pit road for the final one tonight, barring any yellows. And speaking of yellows, so far I'm on the money, man. Only one tonight.
I'm glad I didn't bet you tonight on this race because I would have been even broker than I am now.
Yeah, man. As they 6 of TomTom's actually down pit road. I think there he is coming in. That number 6 Ford Mustang, 8-corn machine. You know, speaking of number 6, man, Ryan Newman, glad to hear he's okay after that scary wreck at Daytona. And how about Ross Chastain, man, today? Great race. But let's get out here tonight. I don't really want to talk about that too much in the eSports series here we got going on.
Well, you know, just to talk about that real quick, Ross Chastain pulled double duty tonight. He ran the Cup race this afternoon, and then after that, ran really strong in the Xfinity race right after that Cup race. So the man is an Iron Man doing work on the track, but right now the Bolt's doing work as he is still leading this race here at Martinsville. The question is, when does he bring that Toyota Camry down pit road?
If I'm the Bolt, I bring it down one lap later than Fluffy. That's my go. I go when Fluffy goes. If Fluffy stretches his baby out all the way to that thing says Z, I'm doing the same thing because I just don't think anybody else is going to be able to make up the distance, let alone Fluffy.
And the Bolt coming down pit road right now.
And
He's going to give up the race lead to Fluffy. Fluffy's going to stay out as we're on board with the 17 of Fluffy Stenhouse Jr. as he's leading this race. So you know that 17 Sunny D Machine HD is probably going to come down pit road this time by.
that, or he might be banking on a caution. Here he is coming down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Nope, he's going to go for another lap around the hot dog paperclip Martinsville eSports track. Here he is going by the edge of the Bolt, put him a lap down.
I really want a Martinsville hot dog right about now. I'm just saying, I'm actually kind of hungry. I've been eating ramen for a while, and a hot dog from Martinsville sounds delicious. HD, you know, your name HD means hot dogs. What is your favorite hot dog ever? Is it a Ballpark Franks? Is it an Oscar Mayer? What do you enjoy?
I'm a Super Frank boiled hot dog guy, a little strip of ketchup.
Ketchup on your what? Blasphemer!
Yeah,
Fluffy in the
super hot.
17 down pit road. I can't believe you put ketchup on your hot dog. I'm a little disappointed in you right now.
What are you supposed to put in hot dog, man?
Mustard, man.
and chili.
There we go.
Chili.
Red
All
coming
day.
in.
Come on now.
I'm starting to wonder why I'm up here in the booth now.
Ugh.
But yeah, Fluffy down pit road here. He went about 2 laps farther than the Bolt. I think he was kind of probably banking on a caution, maybe get a little lucky to be able to trap the Bolt a couple of laps down, and I think he was thinking like, yeah, man, I got this race won now. But I think he realizes that gap to be able to make up to the Bolt is going to be pretty much near impossible to make.
And you know what that means? The 88 of the Doharian Snowcat, Tyler Dohar, is our race leader as we're winding down here. Less than 45 laps to go at Martinsville.
So Dohar out here stretching the field yet again. I don't know how. I think he's playing the caution game now. I think he's got these guys trapped down a few laps. I don't think how fuel strategy can benefit you from about 100 laps to go. I think he's playing a caution game. He's hoping for a caution.
And we've seen a lot of close calls on cautions. The game has kicked in, ghosted a few cars that keep those yellows from coming out. The question becomes, though, who's going to be the guy, the unlucky guy, to bring that caution out? Because Dohar might have a few stern words with him if it happens.
No, I think Dohar's going to have some loving words for him if it happens. Because be able to trap the Bolt in the 17, a Fluffy multiple laps down. I mean, you pretty much secured that they're not going to get a championship, as it looks like 18's coming down now.
The 88 on pit road.
18,
He's going to bring that Camaro down the low slung drive on pit road to give up this race lead here. Now the question becomes, will it put him in front of the 18 or the 17 to hold on to this race lead?
It's coming down. I think if this thing stays green, again, I think the 18, the Bolt's got it. Here he is coming down a backstretch into turn 3. He's got the 8 of Big John, another championship hopeful right in front of him. He might put up a little bit of fight, but Fluffy's still nowhere to be seen. I actually think he's got a farther gap from the Bolt as we speak.
Yeah, but someone we need to talk about right now, and we haven't talked about him, is the 3 car of J-Mac Attack, because he's leading this race right now. He hasn't come down pit road, so he might win the race. Not a championship hopeful, but now he's going to bring that Chevrolet down pit road and give up the lead. Now we wait to see how it breaks down after these green flag pit stops. As I'm bouncing through the field here, we're watching Dohar. We're going to wait to see who takes over control. And it's going to be the Bolt once again, HD.
Yeah, I mean, it's Bolt's race, honestly, if this thing goes green. I mean, Fluffy going those 2 extra laps, I think that was just a Hail Mary call, hoping for a caution, as Big John there clipping the apron right behind the 18. Luckily didn't clip him right in the rear quarter panel. As I'm looking behind the 18, I just don't see a Fluffy Stenhouse Jr. anywhere in sight.
I will say, though, Big John hitting that curbing was a close call for the 18, because that could have been the end of his race right there if it was just an inch further back.
It could have been, 17's just cruising. That's what he's hoping for. As we look in front of the 18 now, we got looks like the 00. We got a car coming off of pit road. That might be the 3 car of J-Mac. In front of these guys is the 32 of Go Fast Matt. Another championship hopeful. So maybe the Bolt catches up to him. Matt might race him a little hard, and he might make a mistake. So stay tuned to find out who's going to win the first ever championship here in the eSpark FilterTime Series.
We're almost at lap 220 HD, so we are going to have about 30 laps left to go in this race, and it's the Bolts to lose at this moment.
And just cycling through, trying to find around. Here is Fluffy. He's crossing start finish right now, going to the Bolt. Bolt's actually coming through turns 3 and 4, so Fluffy actually may have had a speeding penalty or something down pit road.
Speeding penalty, got caught up in traffic, one of the two. We know it's been rough here getting around this lap traffic as we watch the 18 of the Bolt work on the 3 car J-Mac Attack, trying to get around him to put him a lap down.
Yeah, and J-Mark just going to pull off here down in front stretch. Let him go by. It's good awareness from J-Mac. One of the more respectable drivers out here in the eSpark Series. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Honestly, it was good to meet him, man. I was glad they made a pro league. He's cool guy, actually.
J-Mac is a giant. If you've never met him in person, he's like 6'5", 6'7", but the nicest man you've ever hung out with. Me, him, and the Bear had a good moment one night after first introductions where I was lucky to have his body height and strength to help us carry a few people home. But man, J-Mac, you hate to see it for him, but the man is a class act. Commentator within the eNASCAR Heat community, does it for, if I remember correctly, AKA Shake and Bake. You know, he's a great voice of the community as well, so you hate to see that he's running back here like this, but man, he's got bright futures ahead of him.
Oh, without a doubt, man. And they do a hell of a job broadcasting over there with the platform. You know, Frozen Toes and him, they do excellent jobs. I tune in every now and then just to listen in a bit. You know, get a little bit of different, you know, perspective from broadcasting point of views. And here we are watching the 18 of the Bolt coming down in turns 3 and 4. Now he's got the 32 a go fast Matt right in front of him. I think he's about to go a lap down to the 18, so he should put up a fight, but just in front of these
Look
guys,
at that.
2 by 2 coming down the backstretch. 3 wide here for a minute into turn 3.
It was a wall of cars in front of the 18 of the Bolt. As we're looking off the front end, he's bobbing and weaving, threading the needle to get through this lap traffic.
Yeah, and the 32 a go fast Matt's like, I gotta go, man. There's a monster right behind me chasing this Scooby-Doo mystery machine around Martinsville Raceway, and his name's the Bolt. We gotta go.
You know, Matt is going, zoinks, you gotta go, man. Ruh-roh, he's coming. You know what? And just for the final time tonight, let's do one more Crank It Up, brought to you by FilterTime, as we ride on board with the Bolt, our race leader here at Martinsville. And HD, here we are looking off the rear deck lid of that race leader, the 18 of the Bolt. And man, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy seems like they've had better days on that Ford Mustang, as Matt's Ford is just crumpled up on the front end, but they are all smiles. Oh, I love Scooby-Doo. I'm just going to say, it was one of my favorite shows growing up.
Yeah, I just hope they have some, like, Geico or something like that for that mystery machine, man, because that thing is all beat up in the front end. And, you know, I was watching this battle here through that Crank It Up session brought to you by FilterTime. Matt wasn't playing so nice, man. He gave the 18 a bumper a few times there. Now they're separated about a car length lead.
You know, and I see something in the rear view right now, just a few car lengths back, the 88 of Dohar. My question is, and we don't have the ability to see, is how many laps back is he at this moment?
That's a good question. I don't know if he's going to be able to answer that. But, yeah, he's right here running right behind the Bolt. Actually, 2 cars behind the Bolt. They're going to go 2 wide here right behind him. That's going to be the 3 of J-Mac diving again down into turn 3. I mean, turn 1.
Matt gives a little bit of a wiggle to J-Mac off of turn 2, down into turn 3. We're still watching the rear deck lid of the Bolt as this battle happens. And the action is intense as the laps are starting to wind down. We are at lap, let's see here, 135 in the books of 235 in the books of 250.
Yeah, so that's what, 25 to go. There should be no more green flag pit stops to the end unless the caution comes out. It's going to be a wild one to see who's going to play what strategy. But here it is, the young gun I'm going to call. I know I call CJ Max Rose the young gun, but this kid's not much older. He's the Bolt 18. I said it all season long. A focus bolt is a dangerous bolt. Here he is showing why with about a track and a, I mean, what, 3/4 track lead? I mean,
yeah,
it's a big one.
And you know, it's funny because we talked about it all season. The David versus Goliath battle on track was Mr. Track Bar and this 18 of the Bolt. The Track Bar is out tonight with a sickness and illness. He can't race, and we're watching right now, taking all the lessons he's learned from battling Mr. Track Bar to put this Camry up front and just mere less than 25 laps to go to win a championship here in the inaugural season of the FilterTime eSpark Series.
Yeah, and racing someone like Track Bar, honestly, it only elevates your game. Yeah, I know he might be a pain at times, he might get a little snippy at times, he wants to win, he's all rah, 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 but it honestly helps you, and I think racing this season in the eSpark Series brought to you by FilterTime really propelled Bolt's career here in the esports world of NASCAR.
And, funny story about the Bolt, in case you didn't know, this man is also a road race ringer in F1 cars, used to drive competitively in the F1 esports, and now here he is showing the world that he can also wheel and deal a stock car as he's putting his Camry into victory lane if he stays where he's at here at Martinsville tonight.
Yeah, with the laps winding down, with looks like about 20, if not under 20 to go. There goes the 5 or more dog coming off of pit road, coming down the backstretch. His front end is all mashed in. Hope he has some Geico insurance as well on his car.
And we're under, I would say, JHD here, about 8 laps to go, probably 8 to go this time by here at Martinsville. So that means the Bolt is only 8 laps away from being crowned a champion.
Well, here we are with under 10 laps to go here in the FilterTime eSpark Series. This is the championship race at Martinsville Speedway as Bolt's coming through turns 1 and 2 down the backstretch, barring any caution, guys. We're looking at the champion right here.
Yep, lap 242 is about to be written. Open up to chapter 243 of 250, and it's the Bolt race to lose unless a caution comes out, and it could change this entire storybook ending for the 18.
And I don't know if there's any way to get this information, but let's just think, if the caution does come out, how many cars are on the lead lap? How many cars will be racing for the championship here if it comes out as of late? And I think it's probably going to only be 2. What, the 18 and the 17? I think if that happens, get your seatbelts ready, because that's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be just them 2. That's going to be it.
So there we go. If the caution does come out, it's just going to be pretty much a 2-car shootout for that championship. The Bolt's not hoping that happens as he comes down the backstretch. Laps winding off, getting ready to get to 5 to go here at Martinsville.
5 to go this time. Lap 245 in the book, 246 being written. Man, this is going to be just... All he's got to do is stay in auto drive. Keep the car clean. Don't overdrive. Oh, a little wiggle down the backstretch there for the Bolt. But he's still straight.
He's still going strong. That's a little wiggle there. Maybe his heart dropped just a bit, but it's nothing this kid cannot handle.
Less than 3 laps to go. Or actually, about 3 laps to go, I think, at this point. 247 of 250. These laps go by so quick as the Bolt, once again, 2 laps to go here at Martinsville.
Yeah, 2 laps to go. He's smiling ear to ear, watching him pace around this track. He's not really pushing it too much. He looks like to be in cruise mode. Coming through turns 3 and 4. White flag in the air this time by.
Sorry, you should need double popsicle sticks in the air, I think, this time by right here. Now we're at 2 laps. Yeah.
No, that was the white flag.
Oh, this is the white flag. Thank you. It's really hard to tell. There's so many cars a lap down. White flag this time. The Bolt, the 18, a Focus Bolt, is a deadly Bolt. All he had to do was maintain to keep the car clean, and he's going to win the inaugural FilterTime eSpark Series Championship here at Martinsville. He is your champion. He's going to walk away hosting 2 trophies, the one for Martinsville and the one for the FilterTime eSpark Series.
Yeah, can't say congratulations to that young kid enough. The beginning of this thing, when I first started broadcasting, he hit me a couple of times. He's saying, what can I do different? What can I do to elevate my game? I know I got what it takes. I just need that little bit of advice. I pretty much told him, man, look, just be a little bit more patient. You got the speed to get it done. And here he is tonight, man, the champion, first champion, that is, of the eSpark Series.
And he did everything right this season, HD. He put the cars in the places they needed to be. He battled the best in the league of track bar. He came into this race the regular season champion by dethroning Mr. Track Bar, and tonight he's going to walk away a champion. So let's take a moment. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, man. Let's get him up here, man. Let's talk to the young guy.
Yeah, let's see if we can't get him up here. Let's take a quick moment. Let him celebrate. Let the chat gather their thoughts. Let us gather our momentum here. Because what we just watched was a spanking. We saw some great battles on the track here tonight. Dohar with the strategy. Fluffy with the strength of the mid-range to long-run game. And then, but the Bolt at the end, making the adjustments he needed to make to put that 18 Toyota Camry into victory lane to seal the deal, as they say, signed, sealed, delivered, that championship to him and his team tonight.
Yeah, man. I mean, and actually, here he is, man. Zane, why don't you take him?
Well, I'm thinking, hold on, let's give him a moment here. Gather himself, because the champagne is a-pouring. The alcohol-free Anheuser-Busch beer. I don't know what he drinks. He's probably drinking some Kool-Aid or some Sunny D that he got from Fluffy after that long battle he had with him tonight. But I am with your FilterTime eSpark Series champion, the Bolt. Bolt, how does it feel to be a champion tonight?
Woo! Thank goodness, man. That was stressful. I don't normally celebrate like this, but I'm just so happy. I cannot tell you. It's unbelievable. Pulling the win. We won the regular season championship last week, and going into this race, there was so much. Honestly, I put a lot of pressure on myself. Didn't know what was going to happen, but the race was so good. We had one caution with a lot of green flag runs. We were pretty loose in the long run, but I just had to pretend that there was an egg on the throttle the whole time, and it worked out. Had a little bit of damage at the end, just tried to nurse it home. And I got to thank a lot of people. I got to thank my teammates, Freddie and Fry. They're in the party with me right now. Thank you guys so much for being great support for me throughout this whole season. In any league, just you guys are the best ever. Got to thank all my friends from RSR as well. Smith XNC, he loves it when I say his name. So there you go. Turner, Jeremy, for the big support. Guys from In It to Win It. Everyone in the eSpark. I see a lot of the guys from the Xfinity Truck Series congratulating me. So thank you to those guys. And just got to thank the good racing between Dohar and Fluffy. There's a few times I think I got into Dohar. I was trying to not hit him, and I was just, and Fluffy's behind me. It was just a coordinating effect, but good racing with those two. And got to thank Dohar for making this league incredible. Got to thank FilterTime for sponsoring this league, first of all. Blake Cook, thank you so much. It's incredible how this league has grown this past few months even. We went from nothing to something incredible, so thank you to them. Thank you to you guys. How about that? HD Motorsports, Zane, the Bearded One, Red, thank you guys for providing these incredible broadcasts. And also, I don't know if you saw, but my car is a little different today. Blue, white, and black. I decided, since the Daytona 500, I wanted to make a tribute car to Ryan Newman. My thoughts and prayers go to Ryan Newman and his family after that horrible crash. It was very emotional seeing his recovery and how he's able to spend time with his family and friends. So I'm really happy he's on the road to recovery, and I felt like it was fitting that I had to make a car resembling him and his car from the 500, and it looks a little bit like his Altel car, so figured it was kind of a cool twist I did there, and it means even more the fact that we ended up winning the championship with that car. So thank you to Ryan Newman for all you do in our sport. Best wishes to you in your recovery, and I gotta say also, really hope I'll be back in season 2 in the Pro League. My goal, my dream, I want to make it to the NASCAR industry with North Carolina, have a job in the racing industry, whether it's in a team, whether it's in a broadcasting crew, game developers, whatever. It's my goal. So hopefully I can be back for season 2 to continue my apprenticeship, I guess you could say. So just really so many emotions right now. That's a lot of thank yous, but there's a lot of people who got me here, and my mom and my dad as well. They've been supportive of me ever since I started sim racing when I was about 14. So my mom and my dad, they're in bed right now, so they can't be hugging me right now, but yeah, thank you guys so much. And yeah,
well, he's full of thank yous and congratulations to you again, the Bolt. He is your FilterTime eSpark Series inaugural champion. He won here tonight at Martinsville. He dominated all season long in the eSpark Series, and now he gets to hoist that FilterTime eSpark Series Championship trophy as he celebrates with his friends, his family, his crew. Well, not his family. You know what? You can go wake your parents up. Just jump in the room, start jumping on the bed, going, I did it! I did it! And now he goes into season 2, as assumed from what you just explained there, as a free agent. But guess what, my man? You're a champion in FilterTime, so that's something to carry on to that momentum going into season 2 as a free agent. Congratulations to you once again for walking out of here as a champion and carrying yourself as the champion all season long.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot coming from you, Zane. And a few more thank yous. I gotta thank Snack, Eincar Racing, and Warburton, and I also got to thank Track Bar. Competing against him the whole season was incredible, something I never thought I'd be able to do, and I learned a lot from racing against him. So those 4 people, I got to thank Ward and Car and Snack. They're my new friends. I've just met those guys a few weeks ago, and they're incredible guys. Love racing with them. And yeah, and another thing too, I forgot what I was going to say, but just it's honestly, I didn't even think going into the season I was going to win this championship. I thought, if I could get a top 5 in this championship, that'd be incredible. But I'm just really happy. I said thank you to everyone because everyone had, in some way, shape, or form, helping me be much better on and off the track. And I really did. I feel like I really did improve on the track. And to be in here being a champion is just incredible. And I just never thought it'd happen. I really never thought it would happen against this competition. So I'm just super happy, super thankful. And 12th career league racing championship on top of that, so that's really cool. And wow, thank you. This is just incredible. I didn't think it'd be so. I didn't think I'd be celebrating this much. I figured I'd be very cool, calm, and collected. But I mean, this is incredible considering the circumstances. That was awesome. Thank you once again.
Hey, and Bolt, just so you know, Rock NASCAR is telling you to come on down and get your 1-year subscription to Xbox Live. As the winner of the eSpark Series Championship, you do get a 1-year subscription that he donated to the league, to the winner. So go celebrate with your friends and your crew. Go get yourself some Xbox Live. Congratulations once again, man. And HD, back to you and right up in the booth.
Hey, man, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that the Bolt, won. Like I said, man, he came to me earlier in the season, like, what could I do to improve? I told him, just be a little more patient, get a little bit, used to like racing, being a little more race smart. He has the speed to do it. And he showed it tonight, man. He got it done. So I can't be more happy for that young kid, man.
Yeah, same thing with me. I mean, he showed time and time again throughout this season that he's, one of the most patient drivers with some of the best, setups on NASCAR heat at this point. And it's been a real honor to be able to call the races for you, Lucky Dog. And, I've enjoyed every second of it.
Thank you. I got to thank you as well for helping me along the way. And yeah, just thank you guys once again. You guys have done a lot. Thank you. It means a lot.
And now we're going to shift the momentum here a little bit. I want to go over to Dohar. You were so close, but so far away from a championship. How does it feel, though, to run a successful league for your first season? The sponsorship with Blake Cook and FilterTime. You're crowning the Bolt as your inaugural season champion. What kind of emotions are you going through right now?
It's just an honor and a true blessing, Zane, to say the least. Creating this league, kind of at a hop and circumstance, getting a lot of help from a lot of people, getting help from Moordog, Tedeschi, getting help from guys like Fluffy, guys who aren't even in the pro league, like Chrome Capone, Big John, Sledgehammer, Stout Whiskey, Fry Dog, all the guys who sacrificed their hard time and efforts to put this thing together. Bolt came in and is helping run the social media. He's a class act. We've really seen a maturation, if you will, of him over this entire season. So it's awesome that he gets to represent eSpark as the inaugural champion, bringing over FilterTime, that fantastic relationship with Blake Cook, the investment he's making into esports, the NASCAR Heat community, to be the first Xbox League to have a premier sponsor and partner. I got to thank to all my friends, everybody who's running eSpark, even if it's just been a couple weeks, just doing it part-time to enjoy the competition or, has done the full season grind with us. We'll be ready to rock and roll in season 2. We got a couple announcements forthcoming in the next couple of weeks, but we're going to enjoy about a month off, and I hope to see everybody out at 9 p.m. next Sunday, a week from today, for the Community All-Star Event Showdown. Really excited for that. Should be a great show. And I'm really excited. Zane, HD, Red, thank you guys for coming on and doing this out of the kindness of your heart. Love having you guys be a part of this and give us a platform. And can't wait to see what season 2 brings for us.
Well, Dohar, it's been a pleasure all season long. I enjoy you guys. I enjoy the action that we have on the track. 35 plus of the best Xbox drivers and custom setups. And what you guys are doing here for the eNASCAR Heat community and growing the esports series on the console side. You guys have done a great job so far, from starting off with a Cup series, going to Xfinity and trucks, to building feeder series, to grow this sport and community. My hat's off to you. I know I'm still wearing it because I got a messy hair, but I really think what you guys are doing, because as the former community manager of this community in this game, I love seeing the growth and just the TLC, the tender love and care that you guys are putting into the community itself. And really, honestly, HD and Red, I want to go back and talk about the Bolt here for a moment. During the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, we saw a little bit of a funny side, a humorous side, a goofy little nerd, as I like to call him at times. And there's no disrespect when I say it, because as a big nerd myself, I enjoy it. But what we saw here in the eSpark series was a driver who had matured, who had changed that mentality of being goofy and wanting to be a comedian and making people laugh, to a driver who wanted to win races and earn the respect of his team members and the competitors around him. And with that flip of a switch, he's now a champion here tonight. And you really don't get to see a lot of that happen in less than a couple of months from somebody.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's awesome to see. Going forward, I fully expect him to go into the season 2 of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, and I'm telling you, man, look out for him. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he pulled off a championship in that too.
Yep. Red, final thoughts on the night?
Great night. I mean, what was it? One caution throughout a 250 lap race at Martinsville with 30 people.
Heck yeah, take that, Nicky Jobs. One caution. One caution, Nicky Jobs.
He won't talk to me, Dohart. It's all right. We had a bad buffet in Vegas. He hasn't talked to me since Vegas. You're quite all right. But go ahead, Red.
That was actually a very, very good race. Not only that, I mean, it didn't get too stretched out to the point it got boring. We had battles for the lead all the way up till about 30 to go. I mean, it's just A-plus job on the night. Season couldn't have went any better, especially for the first season ever of the FilterTime eSpark series. Great night overall.
HD, final thoughts?
When season 2 start?
Soon TM from what Dohar said.
we're gonna at least give y'all a month break. We need you to just make sure you're on a regular sleep schedule, HD, so we can get you every week, and we'll go from there.
Nah, man, no, it was a great season. I'm glad Dohar came to me, asked me to do this with you. Glad to get up here with you and Red, man. Just can't wait for season 2, and honestly, can't wait for next week, man. It's gonna be an interesting show next week, I think.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's been a great experience calling the races with you and Red 4424, my buddy. That's I love you guys like kids. I say it all the time. The 28 drivers of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League Season 1 were like my 28 kids, and getting to hang out with you guys and watching some of the best drivers on console on the Xbox side race week in, week out. It's a lot of fun. It takes me back to the days of running leagues and racing a part of it, and it sparks that competition side in me. But overall, I think a great season. I'm a little saddened that we didn't get to see the battle of David versus Goliath, of Track Bar versus the Bolt. But the Bolt's going to walk away our champion tonight. And like I said, he's matured so much over these short couple of weeks and months. But one thing I do want to say is if you get a chance, reach out to Brian Badeshi himself. Tell that boy happy birthday, because he is 24 years old today. His birthday started about an hour ago, so he's probably passed out somewhere in a bed. But either way, it was a great season. It was an honor and a blessing to call these races with you guys, to call these races for the eSpark series. All I can really say is make sure you turn in next week. We're going to have 6 of the best leagues on Xbox battling it out in an all-star event to bring awareness to Extra Life. Me, HD, in the booth calling the action, while 6 of the best leagues battling it out at Auto Club, with Michael Levine stopping by to talk about Extra Life itself, as that's a charity he holds close to his heart. Until next time, from the booth here for HD, for Red, for myself, from Dohar for the eSpark Series, and the Bolt, our eSpark Series, FilterTime eSpark Series inaugural Season 1 champion, I'm Zane the Bearded One. Kisses, hugs, belly rubs. We'll see you on the track.